This is it. Let's go! Game point for the state title. Yeah! That's it! Woo!
We are the West Greene Middle School Lady Buffaloes.
I don't think that we thought we'd be as good as we thought we'd be because I guess everyone just talks bad about West Greene.
I've been walking through the valley of the shadows.
It makes us feel like very confident because we were the first team that got to do it. So yeah, it makes us confident.
Tell me who I was. I've been talking myself up onto the gallows.
We have to play as a team, and we're going to keep our heads up. If we make a mistake, we're just going to move to the next play. Always cheer our teammates on. 1 point at a time.
Every time I tried to walk away, I couldn't make it through another day. Everything seems being
To call mom if you got the ball, so no one bumps into each other.
What else?
Telling your teammate that it's okay if they mess up.
And cheering them on if they do a good thing.
Or a bad thing.
Making sure they're alright if they're hurt or something. Making sure their head's still up.
been uphill battle. I was trying to make it on my own, my way. You were knocking.
I think that we wanted to prove to everybody that we could actually do it. All the fans like cheering us on and like trying to motivate us to like get up, get our heads up, and start scoring some points. And also our teammates doing that too.
We had to make sure that we had a lot of energy because if we didn't, it was not good. Telling ourselves that we could reset our minds so that we could know, or we could know that we could get up the points.
On the door that I've been looking for, it was right in front of me. I was lost, but now I'm free. And I was...
The whole community was right there with us. A lot of support.
Did that encourage you?
Yes.
But now I see that your love is better than life. Your love...
Honestly, it still hasn't said it.
It hasn't. I feel like it more clicked in like after the other team got their trophies and stuff.
is better than life. But I ain't turning back now. It's
Just all of us like going in the middle and hugging and crying and all that. I think the game that we figured out we was going to stay when we was like in our huddle after the last game when we figured it out.
Anybody else? Nobody else had an awesome memory from the year?
Or just like being around all of them. I feel like a great memory was just seeing everyone out there.
so amazed how your love is better than life.
To keep working is hard.
But if you actually believe that you can do it, then you'll do it.
I know the truth, and now I'm in a new light. Forever starts today and won't stop now. Your face.
We started back in February actually doing some Vertimax with them and doing some basic fundamental stuff. We had some girls that would come off the softball field from playing softball to the top of the hill and get on a Vertimax machine in February. So we started then, and then practices started the last week in May. As soon as school ended, we practiced all summer.
I think we definitely had the pieces if they could just gel as a team, work on fundamental stuff that we were just a tick off on, that we knew this team could be special.
Shining on me, walking in the truth that set me free. It's all I need if it ever only for me.
We had our first tryout at the end of school in May, and so we worked with over 20 girls all summer long to try to narrow it down to our 18 that we have, and so or we had to work with this season. But you can tell a big difference over the summer. When you work with them over the summer, they grow so much.
And I know we struggled to even cut some because we had so many that tried out. I don't, how many did we actually have tried out?
38 girls tried out.
And we had to, I mean, we struggled with who to cut because, you know, you just never know how they will progress.
Who could stand against? Love is better than life.
Game 1. Hardest team we played all conference. Took us 3 games. At their place. Had the floods going on. We had to drive to Irwin.
Well, I started to say it's Unicoi, so it's the team we battled back and forth, and then they became good friends with them here toward the end because we played them so much, you know.
After game 1 was over, kind of got that jitterness behind us. It started kind of clicking after that. We had some close games. We played bad here and there. Teams got better through the year also, and pushed us towards the end like they did in the end of the season. So game 1 was a good one for us. That was a good one for us.
Is better than life. But I ain't turning back now. It's the
I think with volleyball, it's momentum, and a lot of times the girls would get their heads down if they were not used to messing up a lot of times, and when we would get behind or something, they would hang those heads, and you just, you know, just getting them back up and getting that momentum back during a game.
Coaching girls is a big part of coaching girls is they have to like each other and want to be together and want to play as a team. That's one of the biggest battles, and these girls love each other and they like to be around each other, and that helps tremendously when you put them on the court. They want to win together, and so that's a huge. If you can get girls that like each other and want to be around each other, that's one of the biggest challenges you got.
And also this team, you know, as a team, even when 1 or 2 struggled as hitting, we had somebody always step up and pick that slack up. We had back row. When they struggled in the back row, we always had somebody that could just step in and take their, not position, but just pick the game up when they were just had a bad game. So all in all, I mean, we were just, no matter if we had a girl off or on, we always had somebody that could pick that up. So that's what made this team super, super good.
so amazed how your love is better than life.
Well, one of our strengths is just that. I mean, we had girls coming back from last year. They had that experience. We had 3 or 4 girls that played a lot last year, so they were bringing back a lot of experience to our team, and so that was a strength for us. A lot of teams are 8th grade heavy, and so we weren't 8th grade heavy last year. These girls got playing time last year, and so when they stepped on the court, they were ready. They knew our offense. They knew how we run things and how we do things, and so they just got to work all season instead of having to do a lot of learning, and that was a huge strength for us.
Yeah, I'm super on fundamentals, so we worked on that last year all season, so when we come into this season, you know, they already had the footprint in. They kind of knew what we was wanting to do. Hitters knew how to get their steps right. Back row knew how to move to the ball. And it's just something we didn't have to waste much time on because they kind of already knew that. The younger girls stepped right in. They've been around a lot of us at the younger booster age going up. So, I mean, they kind of know the drill before they ever got here also. So that's helped a lot.
Repetition. He's got to do it,
Going
do
through
it,
the
do it.
motions, yeah.
Yeah, and volleyball's hard because of rotations. That's what makes volleyball so hard. It ain't like basketball. You put 5 girls out there, sub whenever you want to and whoever you want to. Volleyball don't work that way, so that's what makes it a little bit tougher than most sports.
think that focus was with us at the very beginning.
Yeah.
We knew we possibly had the team to do that with this year. It did, however, scare us that we were beating everybody pretty easily. And I think toward the end that really hurt us because they were progressing and we felt like we were kind of degressing a little bit there. But that was our focus from the very beginning. We knew, if everything gelled like we thought it would, that this team could be special.
We had the pieces to do it. It's just if the girls bought in and just played at all of their abilities, we would be there at the end, we thought.
Was there ever a point when you felt like this is where they bought in? Like, was there a game or a time when you thought?
I thought sectionals. First game sectionals, they come out and just dominated, and they pretty much dominated that whole tournament. I felt.
Yes,
And that's where I think they clicked all season, but it was not at the level that they were clicking in the sectionals. They turned them to a different group of girls, sectionals, and it just carried over into state, except the one let down, but it happens.
It was amazing, really. We started working Saturday night as soon as we knew that we were going to state. Before we even won sectionals, we knew we were going because the top 2 teams went, and we started looking for hotels and contacting people and telling parents to reach out to any kind of businesses they knew to get money. And by Monday morning, I had people texting me. I mean, I was all on my phone all day saying, I got money, I got money, I got money. And Tuesday, the day before we left, I literally was on the road 5 to 6 hours picking up checks from people who said, come and get this money, come and get this money. That's all I did on Tuesday. And so, no complaints, but just as I drove, I just thought, how blessed are we that people are backing these girls and want to see good things out of them. And it was just crazy. The amount of people are just willing to give money because they just want to see these girls go to state,
Yeah.
You were a friend of me, so I got to see your face. Yeah, keep fighting the fight of my faith. No,
I know we Facebook stalked all these teams because in middle school you don't have a lot of scouting tools, so we done all we could do to see the girls we were going to be playing in our pool. We could care less what was in the other pool because we wasn't there yet. But I know we had talked about it, and Sail Creek's the first. Yeah, Sail Creek's the first team, and yeah, they were the big one we thought, and we talked about, well, if we drop that first game, how are we going to be able to keep their heads up for game 2 and 3? All we had to do was get 2 of them. So we had already thrown around and we had already talked about that, but they wasn't going to have it. They come out and just played. When they played like they did the first game, we all got together and we said we could win this thing. There was no chance we could win this thing.
not to be afraid. Forgetting the past, I press on to the prize of the upper call. Jesus Christ.
No.
Oh, any night.
No, Erica said she was up on Facebook at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, and she said she noticed that I was on there too. So she's like, I should have just started messaging you. We could not sleep at all.
No, did not sleep.
You have everything running through your head, scenarios,
It was hard too because we was playing our rival.
Yes. Well, then you start looking up the other teams because Charlotte had not been beat.
Yeah.
So the team that we ended up playing the championship, they had not been beat at all. So we were curious about, them, but there was not a lot of information, like he said, that you could really find about them either.
The Unicoi game was hard. I mean, we played them 4 times. They knew exactly what we done. I mean, they knew everything about us. And so you had to come up with a strategy to beat them for the 5th time, and it was just like all kinds of things run through your mind. Like, what can we do different? What did we do when the time they beat us in the area championship? What didn't we do well? And we got to make sure we do that. It was just so much stuff. There was no sleep while we were there.
I didn't even think about it.
No.
One game.
Didn't seem
Didn't-
real.
no,
It just
it didn't.
didn't seem real. I mean, I guess it was just like, are we really at the state
We
championship?
kept saying that to each other, like,
Yeah, is this real?
Yes.
Is this real? You know?
Turning back now, we're stepping so amazed how you love.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
huge. Our girls play so much better when we get the first win, and we talked about that as coaches. Like,
Needed to get the
we've
first
got to get the first set. We've got to, because that gives us a little cushion, and our girls play tight when they get nervous. So if we can get that cushion, then we'll be fine, you know, as we roll on through. But that we needed to get that first set. It was important.
Your love is better than life.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
yeah, praise the Lord.
Yeah.
I know we were just super excited. I mean, you're in shock, really, like, you know, being the first team from Greene County, but the first middle school. I mean, that's something they're going to have to hold the rest of their life, you know. So it was just super exciting.
They definitely work for it. I mean,
Yes.
2 hours a day from February on, it's just, it was a different mindset with these girls. We didn't have to scream and holler at them too much, but we didn't have to push them as much because they wanted to be there. That was what made this team so special, is we didn't have to push them to work on passing, hitting. They wanted it. So that's why it was special. That was special girls.
Your love is better than life. I'm turning back now.
It's really a testament to these girls. These 8th graders they did not get to play booster volleyball. Like, they were not a part of that. It started after they were already in middle school. And so these girls really had no volleyball experience except what they get at the rec in town. And so when they came in, we really got to work with them and start from the basics. And they bought into what we had. I mean, they listened to us, they did what we asked, and it just proved where they're at 3 years later, because all the work. Like, it's really a testament to them, not us. They just listened to what we had to tell them and teach them and do well with that, and it's got them where they are now, because they did not get that booster like some of the younger girls have. These 6th graders have played booster for several years, but the older girls haven't. So they've just bought into what we've been showing them and teaching them, and wanting to work for it. They really wanted to work for it for 3 years, and this is where it led them. So.
What's this mean for this community? What's this mean for West Greene? I mean, does it mean anything? What does it mean?
They've been super backing these girls for sure.
I know whenever, you know, you were talking about the crowd and stuff, and that was one of the things I told the girls, especially after we lost that one game. I said, I want you to look over there. I think Gavin's little girls were over there. Was that your Pee Wee team?
Midget team.
Midget team. And I mean, they didn't stop. From the very beginning, they cheered the whole time. It didn't matter if we was up, if we were down. And that's what I told them. I said, look at those girls over there. You know, they're here for you. And you have to set that example for them and take pride in that. And so it was just, it was amazing to see. So
I hope it starts a tradition. That's what I hope. I hope those younger girls, you know, enjoy being a part of that environment and want to be there one day, because as they move up in the next couple of years, we hope to just keep right on going. I hope this is a tradition, not just a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So.
A program, not just a one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
well, I know these 8th grade girls, they're already saying we're going to do this in high school too. So it puts that fire in you, you know, and they don't want to stop here. So our motto was unfinished business. We had unfinished business when we went to state. So
We told them all season, just write your own story. We talked about past teams, and it was up to them if they wanted to do better or do as we always do, you know, so they excel.
So amazed how your love is better than life.
Hot?
Definitely hot.
I'll go back to what Erica said. They're good girls. You don't hardly have a team that doesn't have a lot of drama on it when it's girls especially, and they love each other. I mean, they keep each other up. You know, they don't blame each other. They're not an I team at all. They're a we team. They play together. They're not worried about their own stats. They're worried about winning, and they want to, you know, they play as a team. They're a good group of girls.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mentioned this to the girls before we left to go to state, but I said there's two things that when we played in sectionals that was just I noticed that got us through the difficult times or just to calm their nerves. They're girls. I mean, they're teenage girls. I can't imagine just the pressure they were feeling. I mean, I felt the pressure. I can't imagine as a teenager, but I told them we sit down and talked the week before we left for state, and so there's two things that happened Saturday, and I asked them what they thought it was, and the number one thing they said, we had really good teamwork. We worked together as a team, and I said, absolutely. And I said, what's the second thing? And they said, every time we felt nervous, we prayed, and these girls did. Like, I'm going to miss that. There's a lot of good leadership in these girls, and every time that they would just feel nervous or hey, we're not playing well right now, or our heads are down, we need to pick me up. One of these girls would go, let's get on the court and pray. And with or without us coaches, they'd go do it themselves. They knew where to go when they needed comfort, when they needed to be calmed down. They knew where to go. And it wasn't us. It wasn't us. And so I really missed that. Like it was a witness to me. Like, why am I standing here worrying? They're over there, you know, with their heads bowed praying, and they just knew where to go. And they would pray at the beginning of the game. They'd pray in the middle, where they'd call timeout, and they'd be on the court pray, you know. And with or without us, they wouldn't even ask us. They would just go do it. And so I will miss that. Like that was a witness to me of, you know, just when you know you need help, you know where to go. And these girls did. They did. And that's why I said we give God the glory for this, because so many times I've seen them in a huddle with their heads bowed praying. And these girls led that. It wasn't us. It was them. And I'll really miss that one.
This is it. Let's go! Game point for the state title. Yeah!